Well, hello, my Beyond Grit family. I hope you guys are doing fantastic this week. Do you ever find yourself angry about someone else's success? Come on, you've been there. We've all been there. Why do you think that is? It seems completely irrational. It's such an irrational feeling that I should be upset with somebody else because they're succeeding. We should be happy for that person and not bitter. But my opinion is if we redirected that negative energy into some self-reflecting, we would probably realize that it's us that we're the ones that have the problem, that we're the reason we're not where we want to be. It has nothing to do with that person. We decide what we want to do and what we don't want to do. We decide to either make decisions to move forward or excuses to stay exactly where we are today. It's natural to be scared or unsure of yourself. When that happens to me, I just ask for help. How do I get past this point of being scared and not wanting to take that next step? One of the most important things they give up, these successful people that they give up, is this mentality of I cannot do that. They have a different attitude of I can do this and I can do more. And they never settle for mediocre. They're always striving for that next thing. Maybe that's something you want to do. Maybe it's not what you want to do. But we need to sit back and we need to think about our why and what we want to do to get to where our ultimate goal is. So, something to think about. My guest today is Mike Dascal. So Mike is the founder of Changing Lives Together Foundation right here in Charlotte. The foundation's mission is to enrich and change the lives of special needs kids and kids with life-altering medical circumstances. It's amazing what Mike and his organization has accomplished in such a short period of time. It all started with a little event called Beer and Burpees. What started off in his backyard has grown into an annual event. And last year, that event alone sold out and raised $167,000. So we had a great discussion regarding the foundation and the driving force behind it. So get your coffee, tea, maybe a seltzer water, and enjoy the show. And I'll see you next week. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, Robert. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, thanks for taking the time to come on the show and have a little sit-down chat.
Yeah, no problem.
Because I know you're a pretty busy guy. So tell me a little bit about the CLT Foundation and what you guys are doing now.
Yeah, so it's a local charity here based out of Charlotte. And, simply our mission is to support kids 21 and under with any life-altering medical illness, condition, chronic illness, injury. It could be physical disabilities. It could be intellectual, developmental disabilities. But any of those kids 21 and under, we want to help enrich and change their lives, right? So we want to really focus on what they're going through today, helping them improve their lives. And we have a lot of different programs built around those kids and that mission.
Okay. And those kids are usually or are always in the Charlotte area?
Yep. So we focus on the Charlotte area and really any of the 9 surrounding counties. So it ends up being a pretty big geographic area. Some of our programs do attract some kids from outside of that. So we have a summer camp, for instance, and we did have kids come from a couple of different states for that camp. But for the most part, all of our programs are centered here in the Charlotte and the 9 surrounding counties.
Okay. And did you grow up here in Charlotte?
It feels like it, but I've been here for about 21 years. But I grew up in Raleigh, not too far away. So I'm a North Carolina guy, but I've been here in Charlotte for a while.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Enjoy it. I like it here. I've been here it'll be 11 years, the end of February. I love it.
Yeah.
It's such a great place.
Perfect size between a big city and a small town. It's kind of like right in the middle.
Yeah. Now, growing up, did you have a big family?
I have 2 brothers, and my parents. So it was 5 of us. So, about average size family.
Now, I was looking back and reading through your bio, and your bio says that you learned to give back from your mom. I mean, what did she do to inspire you?
Yeah. I mean, my mom was just always the person, like the person in the neighborhood where our bus stop was in our yard, right? So in the winter, she's having all the kids from the bus stop in our garage. She's making hot cocoa for everybody. She's bringing like salad and meals to the lifeguards at the pool during the summer. She was always just looked up on, I think, by, all of our friends is like that super nice mom that always did things for other people. And she just always taught us that. Like she was always looking to serve, helping out people, doing things, always told us, think about other people, put yourself in other people's shoes. So she just really, I think, instilled that in me and my brothers it just kind of became, a part of our lives. Like that's just what you kind of have to do. It's not anything special. You just help other people.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you always do things before starting your first organization or your first charity event?
Yeah, in college, we delivered turkeys to homeless people in Raleigh. I was in a fraternity and I was the philanthropy chair. So I think it did start pretty early, 18, 19 years old. I didn't really realize it was happening, but I guess we just kind of got involved at that young age and volunteered, I think even in high school, sleeping in a homeless shelter for a couple of nights, kind of on my own. I'm not sure how that came about. I just remember that right now. But so I guess we got a pretty early start at some of those things.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it. The homeless shelter.
Yeah, I don't know what got it, how that happened or how that came about. I just remember staying at least one night, maybe 2 nights, just helping out, serving meals and staying in a homeless shelter overnight. I think I was 16, 17 years old.
Wow. I mean, that's crazy. So is it the first charity that you guys came up with? Is that the Beer and Burpees charity?
Yep. So that's actually basically, it started as an event, right? It was now almost 12 years ago that we started it. And it was an event where, we would do it one time, one day, and we raised money for other charities. So it started with Wounded Warriors, then it went to Dream On 3, but it was more of an event, a fundraiser for other charities. And then about 3 years ago, we just wanted to do a little bit more. And that's where we started the Changing Lives Together Foundation, our own foundation that we started, where we can come up with our own programming and also give back to other charities, but also have our own programming that we would like to do as well for the community.
So with the Beer and Burpees, how did that come about? Were you guys just sitting around? I mean, this would be really crazy. We should make people run 400 meters and then come back, drink a beer, and then go do this. And yeah, I mean, how'd that come about?
So, I mean, I think because you do CrossFit as well, but I was, 1 or 2 years into the CrossFit, I was drinking the Kool-Aid, right, all in it. So we had a party. We just had our friends over. We had 40, 50 people. And we said, come on over, guys. We're going to work out and then drink beer. And we're going to do it together. And that, for some reason, sounded like a fun idea. So we did that our first year. And we just had a party. It was not a fundraiser. And then the second year, I was like, listen, all these people have jobs. They all do well. I'm giving them food and drinks. I'm going to charge them, right? So I charged them all and we donated it all to charity. And then, it just went year after year, got bigger and bigger. And I said, maybe we can get some companies to give us free food and free pizza. And then that's just more money raised. And then we found other companies that would donate things for a silent auction. So it got bigger and bigger, and it just evolved like that, where we just got more people to do it, more companies to help. We raised more money, and we got to a point after 5 years in our house here, in our yard, which is 0.2 acres. We had almost 200 people working out in the rain, pouring rain, with porta potties on the sidewalk and in our garage. And we raised $20,000 in 2-3 hours. And we said, all right, I guess people like this. Let's make it a real event, open it to the public, and have it somewhere else. And that was about 6 years ago that we did that.
Okay. I know it. It's exploded. So I was at the last one that you guys had at CrossFit Pineville. Is that where you work out at?
Yeah, I work out at a different facility. So it was actually at CrossFit Indian Land, but right there near Pineville. That's where we've had it the last 2 years.
Correct. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yep. It's real nice. It really sets up nicely for the run outside and lots of parking, and people just seem to really like it. I work at a Rising CrossFit down also in Indian Land.
Oh, okay. Were you there when she was over in the Ballantyne area?
Yep. We started at the Y, then at the Ballantyne location for 5 years. Now at this location for, I think, about 3 years.
Okay. Still digging the CrossFit?
Yeah. Still.
Yeah.
As long as I don't get it injured. Yeah.
I know. It's good. Do you know Jimmy Cantor?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I partnered with him this morning and he about killed me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Goodness. He's one of a kind.
Yeah. Those guys are in shape. I see the post, him and Pam and Bruce and all them. That's at a different level.
They are at it, but they're like focused. I mean, they're focused. I think they want to get to the games again.
Yeah. Okay.
And they've been putting the time in and working hard. So
that's great.
Yeah. Now, this isn't a one-man band show. So you've got a team around you. Your wife helps. Okay. And then you've got another group of people to really help you out. Do you think that you could do all that you do without them? Or are they like your lifesavers?
Oh, yeah, definitely the lifesavers. We have, like you said, my wife's on the board. We have 2 other people on the board. So we have 3 people on our board of directors for CLT. And then we have another, I think it's 7 or 8 people that are on our committee. And they help plan the events, right? It like you're saying, it cannot be a one-man show, and we don't want it to be. And we actually took a long time thinking about the name of our foundation, calling it Changing Lives Together. And that T for together is on purpose, right? Because we want to do it together with the community. We don't want to do it by ourselves. We want to partner with other organizations, partner with other gyms like CrossFit Weddington, who is like unbelievable, not only in fundraising for CLT, but they also bring volunteers out to help with a lot of our events. So that's what we want. We don't want to do all the work for a number of different reasons, because there's obviously more power, more impact with more people, but we also want to share what we get out of this foundation with other people. Right? Because we get a lot out of it ourselves, just in seeing different kids and being able to help them. It brings a lot to us as well as to the kids. And we want other people to share in that as well. So we definitely need our committee. We definitely need all the volunteers, and we have a lot of them that help us each year. So it's definitely a large band of people.
Now, are you a 501c? Or 503? Yeah,
501c3. Yes, we are. So that happened 3 years ago. So we had to do that to start up our foundation. And that allows, as you know, right, businesses to help out and have that tax relief, and as well as us for donations.
How hard was that to go through the process?
It was hard. I mean, it takes about 6 months. But I had someone that was on our board that's gone through that, started his own foundation. So thankfully, he was able to help us get started. You had to meet with lawyers and things like that to get things written up. So definitely no fun. And I definitely see why people get stopped there. But fortunately, we were able to make it happen.
How long have you been doing the camp?
The camp, so
relatively new?
Yeah. So we just basically, our foundation's been here almost 3 years, right? But we basically had 2 full years. So we had 2020 and we had 2021. Those are the first 2 full years of our foundation. And of course, that was right at the same time as COVID. So we're starting a foundation, trying to bring people together while we have COVID and we have to stay, 6 feet apart. So that was a little bit tough. So we weren't able to do the camp the first year. So last year in 2021, was our first year we did the camp. We had 15 kids there. It was unbelievable. It was at Camp Thunderbird here at Lake Wiley. We're going to do it again this year. We're going to have 30 people. And then each year, we'll hopefully make it bigger, have more people, maybe do it twice a year or 2 weekends a year. So we'll see what we can expand that to. But that might have been the best thing, non-family related, that I've ever been involved with.
I had a lot of feedback from people that actually went there and volunteered there, and they said that it was one of the greatest things that they'd ever done.
Yeah. It's great to hear. I felt the same way. I'm a little biased, but I felt the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you do another event, which is the Christmas in July.
Yep.
Too. And that where you guys take gifts over to the kids at Levine Center.
Yep. So that was one of our first events we started. I think we did it for 3 years. We did that even actually a little bit before CLT was officially up and running. So we've done that for 3 years. And likewise, with everything else in the last 2 years, we weren't able to do that because we can't physically go into Levine's, us, not being a family member, bringing presents during COVID. But we have it on the calendar again for this year in July to do it. And then since we haven't been able to do that for the last couple of years, we even put a bigger emphasis around end of the year kind of holiday giving. And we've had some big programs over the last 2 years where we're helping kids. So kind of the same idea as the Christmas in July, but it's not kids in the hospital, still those same kids that fit our demographic and who we serve, but doing stuff for them at the end of the year, kind of as a little extra special kind of celebration.
Yeah, which is nice. Now you've got, I'm gonna do a little rundown here for people, because if there's probably people out there that always want to say, I want to give, or I want to give back, or I want to start something. So you work full time, you're married, you've got 3 kids, you coach the Charlotte Rolling Hornets wheelchair basketball team, you volunteer as a dream leader with Dream on 3, you run this organization, et cetera, et cetera. How do you find the time?
Yeah, that's one of the challenges. Definitely, right. Luckily, I do work from home, so that does provide me a little bit extra flexibility to do some work during the morning. In the evenings, I don't have that hour commute coming back and forth from downtown. So I just, I involve our family a lot in it, right? Which I think is good for a number of different reasons. It keeps the kids involved, but also shows them, the importance of giving back to the community. So we do a lot of these events with our family. Like you said, my wife's on the board, but it's a tough, it's a balancing act, and it's a lot of hours, but we love doing it. It doesn't really feel like work, so when I get done with my work job, I work for the bank, Wells Fargo. If I pick up and do some CLT work or some work for Beers and Burpees, it doesn't feel like it's hanging on me and this is work. It's fun, right? So instead of watching TV, I'm just doing other things on the computer, planning an event or reaching out to people or doing some stuff like that. And for me, I enjoy it. And so, it is a lot to balance.
Are you still doing the basketball? Are they able to do that okay.
Yeah, so I'm one of the assistant coaches for the Charlotte Rolling Hornets. So that's it's a kids wheelchair basketball team here in Charlotte. So we practice weekly, and I go out there and help them out, try to travel to some of the tournaments around the Southeast. Usually, hopefully I can come to one a year, but I can't make too many trips. But I still do that. The Dream Leader work, I don't do that anymore over the last probably year, 2 years, just because with CLT really going into full gear, it's just a balancing act, right? So I don't do that anymore. But the Charlotte Rolling Hornets work is a lot of, it's a great event, right? It brings us a lot of pleasure. And it's also one of the groups that we support through the CLT Foundation. So that Christmas gift giving that we do, a lot of it goes to Rolling Hornets kids. Some of those kids come to our camp. 1 or 2 of those kids, I think just one, has won one of our scholarship programs through the CLT Foundation. And that's our largest program or initiative we do with our foundation, is a college scholarship.
With where do you see the foundation going, or what's your dream outlook of where you want to take this? Because it seems like you guys are full steam ahead and you're rolling. So where do you see this growing?
Yeah, I would love for it to be, we're 2-3 years in now. I would love for this to still be here in 20 years, maybe having it, to another city, right? Another chapter where we're doing it maybe in Raleigh or Washington, D.C. or another city as well. But just continuing to help serve. I have a issue sometimes with, trying to always do like more or like be the biggest or the best, and I think it's also good at sometimes to just really focus on, not necessarily serving more kids, but making sure the kids that we are serving, we have a huge impact on, like we really are changing their lives. And if we can do that and then expand and continue to expand with that same impact that we have on the kids, then great, let's do it. But I just want to be hesitant that we don't water down our product and what we do just to get, bigger. So
I think that's a great idea.
We're 2.5 years, 3 years max really into this. So we're learning. It still feels like we just started this 6 months ago. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. If we continue to get, companies that are sponsoring us and involved, that's a big impact. We have a lot of events that are now, donating to CLT Foundation, like the CrossFit Weddington Rowathon. There's a big turkey dash and Thanksgiving. So that helps as well. So when we can continue to, get money coming in like that, it definitely enables us to be able to do more, to have a bigger team, and, maybe even eventually hire one or two people that are dedicated to CLT Foundation so they can focus on it, where we don't have to rely as much on volunteers. We still need them, of course, but we also have fully dedicated, hired people that can put 40 hours a week in, right? Yeah. And then maybe take us to that next level.
So how do people find you? And how do they find the organization? So
it's CLT, like Charlotte, but cltfoundation.org is our website. And we're, the Changing Lives Together Foundation on Facebook and Instagram. We're out there. They can follow us on those pages. We have an email distribution. We'll usually send out about maybe one email a month or so, not too much, maybe two at most. And then our contact information is on our website, but it's also mike@cltfoundation.org if people want to email. And we can add you to our distribution list. There's plenty of volunteer opportunities throughout the year. There's plenty of ways that a company or an event can get involved in. We'd love to talk to you guys. Anybody, if they're more interested in finding out more about our charity, our events that we do, and just how to help.
Excellent. Well, you know what? You're a busy dude, and I'm not going to keep you any longer, but I appreciate you coming on, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing within the community. It's awesome.
Thanks, Robert, for the time, and thank you for taking your time and highlighting people, in the community and other work that people did. So that's a big part of it too. So we appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks, man. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Take care. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Beyond Grit with your host, me, Robert Young. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and review. Tell somebody about it. You can find this podcast on all major podcast platforms, and be sure to tune in every Wednesday for another exciting success story of somebody going beyond grit. Until then, take care.